Wolverine. Now, I'm sure y'all saw it by now. I'm sorry if you didn't, because if y'all expecting after the movie already grossed $1 billion at the box office, and it's been 3 weeks already, or maybe, yeah, I think been about 3 weeks since Deadpool and Wolverine been in theaters. Y'all should already know the damn spoilers by now, or the spoilers is out. But a lot of people was excited over the cameos and stuff. Some people are actually hoping for a Gambit solo film, which I have to say, I didn't particularly like the Taylor Kitsch one. The one, what was it, X-Men Origins? First of all, that movie was terrible. I was watching clips of that on YouTube the other day. I'm like, God damn, I forgot how bad those effects were in that damn movie. Even down to Ryan Reynolds with the way he was looking after the fact. I'm like, he looks terrible. And like the person who directed that film in the studio, y'all should have been shot for what y'all did to that, because that movie was a damn travesty. But I'm glad that, Hugh Jackman was given other opportunities to get for his sequels, solo films or whatever, to get better as it went along. And so after Taylor Kitsch was kicked out, because, I guess after he did John Carter, his career ain't been a damn same. Although I do like him, but yeah, John Carter was a big mistake for him. Although no shade, I liked the movie. I actually watched John Carter like 2 years ago, and I was like, this movie is not as bad as everybody tried to make it. I guess it was just maybe the planning, it was everything they put together with that film, so it didn't really do all that great. But years later, I appreciate it, and I think a lot of people appreciate it, so I think it has a cult following. But anyway, so Channing Tatum was like I think like fan fiction, whenever people were, shipping for him to be the Gambit that we wanted, and we finally got to see him in Deadpool and Wolverine. And I thought he did a phenomenal job. I even love like the Cajun accent, and some people were sitting up in there saying, "Oh, he's exaggerating." Chad, that's how they sound down in New Orleans. Like, it was close enough. So I don't know why people was up in there trying to sound like that. Oh, his accent was bad. No, it wasn't. He was spot on. He may have exaggerated a little bit, but he was pretty much spot on with his Cajun accent. And I would really, in a world, in some multiverse, I would love to see him get his solo film. And I know he really wants to do it. And at one point, he was going to get his movie until the MCU thing happened. And then things started happening. And then I believe, what was it, 20th Century? I think it was supposed to be a part of 20th Century or whatever. We were supposed to be doing it. But, they ended up being merged with Marvel or whatever. Movies that were in the works got put to the wayside, because you already know when that happens. When you get a new boss in town, something comes in, things get taken out, and then movies don't get developed that were initially in the works. So I hope that one day that we get the Gambit film, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I love that moment that we got with Channing in the film, because I thought he did a great job, and he looked spot on. Like the costume, everything was perfection, in my opinion. And the accent, whatever. And I like Channing Tatum. He wasn't the greatest actor when he first started, but he has significantly improved. And I also want to see that movie that he got with his fiance, who directed it. I think it was called Pussy Island, but they had to change it because you can't go to bit. One ticket for Pussy Island, please. Like, they're like, with Zoe Kravitz. She done directed a movie that he's in that's supposed to be coming out. But anyway, so now they're talking about a solo Blade film. After, we saw him on the screen, you already know the Blade situation that's going on. We don't know what the hell's happening with that freaking movie. We don't even know if it wasn't even mentioned at D23. Now to come to think of it, because, they started talking about all these movies that's coming out in 2025. Why haven't we heard anything about Blade from D23? And so that had some people wondering that it could be a possibility that we may not be getting a Blade movie, that they probably quietly canceled it. Like they quietly canceled that Army of the Dead universe over at Netflix, which I'm still kind of upset about, because even though the movie wasn't great, it had potential, way more potential than that fucking Rebel Moon crap. I was like, now that's a franchise you could just burn at the damn stake. Give the zombie universe another, because I love zombies. If you can come up with a new way of keeping those type of genre exciting, I'll check it out, because that's like my favorite genre. I love my zombies, I love my vampires, I love my werewolves. I'm looking forward to the Creature of the Black Lagoon movie they have coming out with. James Wan is developing that, because I loved the Invisible Man thing that they did with my girl who's a Scientologist. What's her damn name? Elizabeth Moss. That's the only way I can remember her, because I'm like, she a Scientologist. Them crazy people over there. But anyway, to get to this, I know I'm like just rambling all over the place. So now the word is that Ryan Reynolds, because I had to remember, I was like, who's Deadpool again? Ryan Reynolds is basically hoping that the MCU will give Wesley Snipes, because after we see him in the movie, it's like, yeah, he still got it. I would definitely love to see him. I don't even know how old he is. I might have to look that up. But a Logan, old man Logan style solo film with Wesley Snipes. And I'm here for it. So Reynolds said boldly that 1998's Blade and its sequels created a market for superhero films to exist, and without them, there would be no likes of X-Men or the MCU. And I'm glad that somebody said this, because the one thing that irritates me is that I feel like people do not give Blade its credit. Blade was the first superhero movie, in my opinion, that was R-rated, that was like dark, action packed. The fight sequence was phenomenal, and people seem to forget that Blade walked so we can get, you know, X-Men and the rest of those other movies that came down the road. Even down to the fact that if you notice with the X-Men costumes, they were the same. They were similar to Blade's look. That all of a sudden, I think at that time, because of the Matrix and all other stuff, everybody was making, trust and believe, Blade was before the Matrix. So if y'all really want to give credit, y'all need to give credit to Blade, because not only did it usher in, you know, films like the X-Men and stuff that we've gotten from the MCU, like Iron Man and all the other films that were ushered in after that. Y'all seem to forget too. Blade did bullet time, bullet slow-mo before The Matrix, because that movie came out in 98. The Matrix came out in 99. Yeah, they may have perfected it and made it look a whole lot better with the whole slow-mo thing, but Blade did it first. So we got to give, you know, Wesley Snipes and them their credit, and Stephen Norrington, who directed the film. So he said, there is no Fox Marvel Universe or MCU without Blade first creating a market. This is what he said on Twitter. He said he's Marvel Daddy, just like, you know, Deadpool is Marvel Jesus. He said, please retweet for a Logan-like send-off. His post so far has more than 25,000 reposts. Now, Logan arrived in 2017 as the final Wolverine film following the story of Jackman's character, which debuted in 2000's X-Men, and while Deadpool and Wolverine has now usurped that somewhat, it's still seen as the finale of a specific character's story. Logan stood out as an exceptional final entry in a series which majoritively received middling review. Really? I love that movie. Who the hell? Why would they say it received middling reviews? What does that mean? Like, some people liked it, some people didn't? I thought it was a good movie. Oh, maybe I'm bugging. So they said, leaving many fans satisfied with the journey Wolverine braved and the legacy he left behind. Logan is the Wolverine film that many fans have long awaited, but is also so much more than that. This is what IGN said in their 9 out of 10 review. Blade is due an MCU reboot of its own soon, as you know, but has suffered from a myriad of delays. So there's been a whole lot of stuff with that. And here's the thing, I will say this. Look, we've seen them do that, like where they could do multiverse type situations in that world, where you have one character, like we had in the Deadpool and Wolverine. You had Chris Evans in there, but he wasn't playing Captain America. He was playing Johnny Storm, which was his original character he played before he came aboard as, you know, in the Fantastic Four films, before he came on board and played an entirely different character in the Marvel Universe. So why can't we have, well, until y'all figure out what the hell y'all doing with Mahershala Ali in that damn Blade reboot, because by the time he filmed that damn movie, he's going to be 60. And he's only in his 50s already. Why can't we get an old man Logan style situation with Wesley Snipes? So I really feel like y'all need to give Wesley his just due. Let him wrap this thing up. Let him get his chance for that situation. Because quiet as it's kept, I know it's been 20 years since we've gotten a proper Blade movie. Well, it will be in December, because I believe that's when Blade Trinity came out. We have to be honest and admit that Blade Trinity was a damn travesty. That movie was terrible. I did not like Dominic Purcell as Dracula, or as they called him, Drake. As much as I like Ryan Reynolds as Hannibal King, them stupid one-liners that he was doing, he was basically giving us Deadpool, and them jokes were stupid. So I didn't particularly care for his character in that. And yeah, at one point, Wesley Snipes hated his ass. And then it was like, it was cool to see Jessica Biel up in the film kicking ass, or whatever. But that whole Abigail's daughter angle, I'm like, shit, y'all don't get off my line with this book. That movie was just a hot ass mess. And Dave Goyer, although I like his writing, he's a phenomenal writer, whatever. I don't know what the hell happened with that movie, but no, he should not be allowed to step behind a camera and make another damn movie. He should just stick to the rivers and the lakes that he's used to, which is writing. And that's about it. So I saw this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all here for the possibility of a Wesley Snipes Logan-esque type Blade film? Me personally, I would love to see it because I really feel like Wesley did not get his just due with that whole situation. Like, if you want to spin off something, you don't make Blade a secondary character in his own film because y'all want to create like this Scooby-Doo of vampire slayers, the Night Stalkers, I believe. Like, if you want to incorporate the Night Stalkers thing in there, you can do that. But the way that they handled that film, where they just made Blade a secondary character in his own film and all the troubling stuff that was going on behind the scenes, especially with Patton Oswalt would be telling people over the years in many a podcast and many interviews, he deserves a proper send-off. So I really hope this happens. But to be honest, I don't think it's going to happen because Marvel right now is still trying to figure out how to get themselves back on track with the horrible what is it, phase 4. Are we in phase 5 yet? I think so. I think we are. I don't know. I can't keep up with these damn phases. But the after phase 3 and that whole situation with Iron Man and all of them and Thanos, y'all have, I don't know what the hell happened, but it's just been a hot ass mess over there at the MCU. So I know they're trying to get their bearings, but at least can y'all just give us one little Blade with Wesley? Because the fans always say, can nobody do Blade but Wesley? Like, he bodied that role. And that's why he is in the Guinness World Records as someone who's played a superhero the longest. He's played it longer. He's played Blade longer than Hugh Jackman has played Wolverine. And that's because Blade came out before X-Men. So that's why he gets that. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.